Hi there, everybody. Dr. Gail here, and today I'm going to be talking about the thing that's on every woman's mind, menopause and the menopause journey. So it's still really a social taboo. There are people who won't even mention it or don't even regard that it's actually a real entity. 50% of women are afraid to even mention it. 65 to 75% of their partners know nothing about menopause and they just think the wife or the mum has gone crazy. And 41% feel really isolated. They feel lonely, invisible, or irrelevant. Then there's those who are really unprepared for what's coming. They were having a great career, and then all of a sudden, menopause hits them like a ton of bricks, and they don't know what's going on, and they can be blindsided by menopause. And most women learn from their own experience all about what it does to your body. Not many people can name all of the symptoms. There are actually 48 symptoms of menopause. There are also people who just overlook it. Some people think that shop assistants are the best prepared to be able to tell them about menopause. They've gone to their doctors, they can't get any answers, and they didn't see that there was any good marketing or any good strategies in terms of their menopausal solutions. So if we look at how the timeline plays out, the average onset of the perimenopause, that's around the menopause, is about 40 plus years. And that starts actually about 8 to 10 years before menopause even starts. And it usually begins in the 40s. So what happens? You start to get hormonal changes, the symptoms start to begin, and your menstrual cycles start to slow down. Then in your 50s, average age of about 51 and a half, that's about 12 months without menstruation, and then those hormonal changes may well persist for up to 10 years, even though you've gone through the menopause. The average life expectancy in New Zealand is 84 years. So you have got quite a few years after menopause to be able to live your life. At that stage, the risk of chronic conditions actually increases as your hormones are down regulated. So let's have a look at what are the sometimes so-called symptoms of menopause. And you may well relate to one or two or three, and if you're really unlucky, the whole lot of these. Let's have a look. Loss of concentration, heart palpitations, irritability, mood swings, changes in breast size, no motivation, anxiety, irregular periods, vaginal dryness, fatigue, breathing difficulties. It goes on and on and on. And these cover all aspects of your bodily functions. So it's not just a one thing that happens. 48 symptoms, which, is really impactful on a woman's body. When we look at the actual hormonal shifts before, during, and after, we can actually specify specific hormones that actually change. And these include glucose, insulin, apoprotein B, LDL and HDL cholesterols, estradiols, testosterone, and the LH and FSH. So if you look as an example for a modern day mum, they're busy. They balance motherhood, they've got adult relationships, they work, they schedule children's activities, they plan the meals, they cook the meals, they organize everything at home. Then they have sick days, and then they've got their career, trying to get that on board. And what does that mean? It means stress. What does stress do to the body? It spikes your cortisol level. So you have got a high level of cortisol every single day. Every single extra stress that you have spikes that cortisol up even bigger. What does that do to your immune response? It lowers your immune response. So you get sicker more often. You don't have the ability to cope. All of your metabolic hormones are down regulated. That includes thyroid hormones, sex hormones, and your adrenal hormones. So if we look at what menopause actually is, it is a significant and transformative part in a woman's life. And these women have a high spending power. They often control the purse strings of the family. They also are a large part of our workforce. Half of the global population will experience menopause during their lives. And by 2025, we've got an estimated 1 billion women in the world who will be in menopause. So women highlight that they want something, and they usually say vitamins or nutrition is the most important. But they don't really feel that there's anything out there to target them specifically. And the question I ask to you is, do you put yourself first? Or do the children come first? Your partner come first? Your job come first? This is something that I think women need to really look at very closely, to look at themselves and try and get something that will help them, help their whole body. Helping themselves, you help everybody else. When you look at the postmenopausal problems, this is the start when you start to get chronic diseases, and 40% of your life you will be living in a postmenopausal state. The incidence of inflammation is much higher. You've got a higher risk of heart disease, dementia, stroke, and osteoporosis, or thinning of the bones. So we really want to get those hormones in balance. Can you do anything about it? Well, yes, there are things that you can do about it that are under your control. The first things that are personally controllable, you can eat healthy, non-processed food, fresh fruit and veggies, nuts, legumes. All of that contributes to good nutrition. It gives you the cofactors that you need for healthy cellular processes. Exercise is absolutely paramount to keep the body moving, to get the oxygen around all of your tissues, and to get those cellular processes up and running. Sleep is really important. A lot of your regeneration of your cells takes place when you do sleep. If you don't sleep well, your immune system is compromised and you start to get sicker more often. What can you do in terms of environment? How can you control that? Getting out in the sunshine. Sunshine, especially during the part of the midday, increases your vitamin D levels. And vitamin D is a very good vitamin for immunity. Fresh air, clean water, no toxins in your water, and also reducing the amount of EMF, specifically when you're just about to go to sleep if you want to have good sleep at night. That's Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, etc., which is everywhere in our lives these days. So out there are a lot of choices. What do you do? I mean, you look at the shelves in any chemist place or any health food shop, there are shelves and shelves and shelves of menopausal support. What do you choose and what is best? Today, I'm going to be talking about not supplementation. I'm going to be talking about activation. I'm going to be talking about activating your body to get the body processes up and running again. So do you do that? We're going to look at how we can control it genetically. This is not changing genes. It's just optimizing what you've already got. Basically, what we're doing is we're rebooting your DNA. We're using specific nutrition to work through cell signaling, and they turn back on specific genes which have always been there to get the body back into balance. And it's called a science called nutrigenomics, or nutrition affecting your genetic structure or your genome. So basically, we're taking something to make it. We're using nutritional support to make things in our own body that our body is already programmed to make. So we are empowering our bodies. We want to get our bodies back into balance. And what does that do? It's better health, less menopausal symptoms. So to look at what the root causes are at the cellular level, we need to actually break that down. Oxidative stress, reduction in collagen, reduction in GLP-1, and an unbalanced gut microbiome. These are all contributors to the symptoms of menopause and perimenopause. So how can we solve these? What can we do to get to the root cause? Well, number one, we can lower oxidative stress naturally. We can reduce the inflammation. We can enhance the liver's ability to detoxify, and we can rebalance all those metabolic hormones that have been downregulated. We can also increase collagen production. We can do that by stimulating the genes that produce collagen. We can also increase your body's natural production of GLP-1, and we can optimize your gut health. So there are things that we can do. Let's have a look at the first one in terms of reducing oxidative stress. This is a little yellow tablet, one a day. It's made up of 5 different herbs, all been around for a long time. It's been around since 2003. This reduces oxidative stress in everybody by 40% in 30 days. It reduces glutathione, which is a master antioxidant enzyme that you produce in your cells in 120 days. What this little yellow tablet does is turn on the switches that make antioxidants. This is not taking, this is you making antioxidants in every single cell of your body. It reduces free radicals, and it reduces the damage that free radicals make around the body. So what are we doing with Protandim NRF2? We're making antioxidants. We're activating the detoxification pathways, especially in the liver, and we are upregulating the metabolic hormones, and that includes the sex hormones as well. So let me have a look at me. So I have a couple of photos here, 2014 on the left, 2024. This is what activated aging does. Aging backwards 10 years, and I think I look 10 years younger rather than 10 years older. Because why? My cells are healthy, and it shows in every single system of my body. So the activation doesn't just stop there, doesn't just stop with reducing oxidative stress. We can actually increase our collagen by activating collagen production, increasing the genes that produce collagen in the cells that make collagen in your body. There's nothing else like this on the market. It activates collagen production. It also replenishes with 10 peptides, and it maintains with specific antioxidants. Berries, it's a beautiful berry flavor. So we see this not only in the skin, but collagen is throughout the body. It's one of the most abundant proteins within the body. People see it firstly in the skin, but then they see it in their gut. Then they see it in their mental abilities. Then they see it in their joints. Then they see it in their eye and their hair health. So collagen is everywhere in your body. As soon as you start to activate, replenish, and maintain your collagen, especially if you put it with the NRF2, you will see amazing results. And again, this is me. I don't really love looking at my photos, but I like to show my photos. So pre-collagen on the left, 2022. Fast forward over to the right, that was 7 months on collagen. It's a glow. The wrinkles are there, but they're softer. And there is no makeup on in any of these photos. And what I like to show people is that, yes, it is about aging gracefully, and getting healthy from the inside out glows, and it shows in your skin. So when you put the two of them together, reducing antioxidants and reducing collagen, this is a patented duo, and it actually reduces the stress response. Remember, I was talking about layers of stress and how the busy mum has more and more stress, the cortisol levels go up and up and up. What this is doing is it stops that overreaction of the body and the immune system. It stops the body from going out of balance. It makes the body back into balance. So what happens? You feel less stressed. You react to things differently. You feel more calm. You can cope with things better. The symptoms of menopause start to decrease, and in some cases, they disappear completely. Let's have a look at Lainey in Australia. This is after a month, and you can see the difference in her skin texture. She looks healthier. It almost looks like it's plumped out. She was absolutely delighted. She was on the NRF2 and the activated collagen. You know, I'm a scientist. I do like to have things that are scientifically validated. And when I can show you a paper of what the effects are at the cellular level, this is where you need to be looking, rather than something that you just pluck off a shelf. More photos. Look at the eyes here. Day 1 versus day 25. The eyes actually open, and why is that? It's almost like it's a cellular Botox without having the Botox, because you're getting those cells to actually work again. You're getting the collagen support to be able to open up your eyes, and it's magical. So let's have a look at weight gain, because that's actually a really worrying symptom around the menopause. Please don't go down the synthetic GLP-1 route. Those are the Ozempics, the Wegovy, and the Mounjaros. They have so many side effects. One of the big things is muscle loss, and you'll probably see people who have what they call Ozempic face. The muscle loss is awful, and that's not even looking at all the other side effects that they have. If you want to do natural weight loss, please have a look at activating your own GLP-1 production. So what can we do? Well, we can actually take the mind-body system, which is 2 capsules in the morning and 2 scoops of powder, to make GLP-1. It's a hormone that you produce naturally in your body, but it goes down as you age. And of course, with the environmental insults, it goes further down. So we can take this to make GLP-1. And what it does is it changes your whole relationship with food. It changes that whole mental and gastric pathway. So what happens is that gut-brain axis starts to say, actually, I'm full now. I don't need anything more. The brain says, actually, I think I need to eat healthy. I think I need to exercise. And it's not anything you're doing consciously. It comes because your cells are actually calling out to you, saying, this is what I want. This is how I want to function. This is me. This is how I need to do things. So this is only launched recently, and honestly, we're having such amazing results with it already. So what you see is GLP-1 increase 220%. You see an increase in skeletal muscle, 7.2%. When they did a clinical trial, they lost about 6.4 kilos on average in 12 weeks. Not just from the subcutaneous fat, but also from visceral fat. And visceral fat is the fat that surrounds your vital organs like your heart and your kidneys. And so we're seeing reduction in visceral fat. We're seeing total reduction in body fat and a decrease in sugar cravings, not because they don't want to, it's just it doesn't happen anymore. They just don't feel like it. So let's have a look at Liko, who was absolutely delighted. On the left, you'll see 1st of November, 28th of November. And then she's done some updated shots far right, 1st of November, 28th of February in the same outfit. Do you know, she actually said to me, she said, Gail, it's changed my whole way of looking at life. She said, I want to exercise. I want to go for walks. I want to eat healthy. And this is something that I've not done before. It's actually giving me the support that I really needed to get my life back on track. So when you put the two of them together, the Protandim NRF2 and the mind-body system, or the GLP-1 system, you are amplifying even more antioxidant pathways. You're amplifying even more reduction in oxidative stress. You get more fat burning, and you're counteracting that cause of age-related organ decline. Jeanette also was delighted. She said these photos are never going to see the light of day if I don't have any results. If you look at the ones on the right, especially the far right, I mean, you can't suck in back fat. We call it a back veranda. If you can see that between November and February, she's lost huge amounts of weight and she is so delighted. Her clothes are just falling off. She's got back into clothes that she had before she had her children, and she's absolutely delighted. So what we're doing is we're breaking that cycle of unwanted weight gain. The cycle is oxidative stress imbalances your hormones, weight gain. What happens with weight gain? Gives you more oxidative stress, imbalances the hormones, more weight gain. So you get into this vicious cycle. How can we stop that cycle? Well, we can reduce the oxidative stress with the Protandim NRF2 and the collagen. And then when we add the GLP-1, we get complete hormonal rebalancing. And what does that do? It stops the weight gain. It stops that vicious cycle of weight gain and hormonal imbalance. So basically, you do have control. You know, you can control what you eat. You can control your environment. You're a product of your exposures, and you're also a product of your genetics and how you express those genes. You can activate your genes to do the things that they were always programmed to do. And what does that do? That reduces and sometimes takes away altogether those pesky menopausal symptoms that absolutely dominate you and your family's life. So you deserve 84 healthy years. I do a lot of talks about health span, and to me, I want people to age well. You deserve to put yourself first, and to do that, you have to put your body first. It is worth every single cent. Now, you can get, I've done a little graph here, you can get heaps of products down on the far left, multiple products in the market. Are they going to give you the same results as these products? No. Why? Because they do not activate your genetic pathways. Yes, you might pay more, but you'll get much, much better results. These are holistic, they're natural, and we are doing a tailored genetic approach. And as far as I can see, I don't think there's anything else on the market that can come anywhere close to these activation products. So it's time to get started with your hormonal balance.